Merry belated Christmas to you all. I hope it's been an awesome holiday for everyone so far, and also an early Happy New Year. I had a really cool holiday Christmas video that I was going to film with the PTGT. Literally the day I went to film it, I went to go start up the PTGT and it was completely dead. It would turn over, but it wouldn't start, which you will see in a minute. And that's what you're going to be seeing all throughout this video. It ended up not being a very simple issue. Over the past week at least, I've been trying to figure out what's been going on and trying to diagnose something, and I think we're finally onto it, and it's not looking very good. But yeah, that's why this video took a little while to come out, and that's why I ended up making a Christmas video this year, because I simply couldn't really. So my apologies for that. Just really bad timing on that car's part. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video as you come along with me for my recent struggle with the GT, and I should have another update on it in just a few days as well. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this one. So I just went to fire the PTGT up and pull it in the shop, but it just did something really weird. It sounded like it was misfiring like crazy, then it shut right back off. Let's try that again. What in the world? Whew, it's smoking. Well, that's not good. What in the world? It's dark out now. Shout out to the light bar on the tractor for coming in clutch. Eli is about to pull up and we're gonna bring this thing inside and tinker around with it, see what we can figure out. I already tinkered around with it for a while because as you can see it's dark out. I played with some of the fuses and one of the ground wires and stuff. I'll show you guys exactly what I did when we get in the shop, but ooh, that is bright. That is awesome. But still no luck, so it seems like it's something ignition related because I could smell fuel really strong. I guess we'll find out in a minute. We got her inside, didn't need the tractor because we had this big tough guy show up. So far I noticed this little like ground block thing. You guys down in the comments, let me know what that is. I have no clue. It's been broken on my car for a while and I've been meaning to replace it. I had this one laying around that just needed to get spliced on, but the wire had actually fallen down into the exhaust shield and melted a little. So I thought maybe that was triggering something ASD related, but I checked all the fuses, all the relays, everything was good. Didn't do anything. All the grounds look good. All like visually off the top, all the wires look good for like the MAF and everything. No vacuum lines sitting there doing this. So I don't know. We got to take the intake manifold off and hopefully we'll find something.
Oh wait, are you doing a time lapse? Oh, I was just, you know, giving
him a cake shot.
magnet shot.
Yeah, the turbo ones. Yeah, gas. I smell it.
Does your intake smell like gas?
Yes.
What?
Yes. A little bit. Well, the injector's going down here. You can smell it. So it's probably just flooding.
Yeah.
Well guys, we pulled cylinder number 2's plug out. It's kind of wet, but it smells like it's gas.
Which is
Better than oil, I guess, but you know, that would make sense if it was flooded.
Okay, well nothing's sus in here.
Yeah, nothing sus here. Show the people back at home. It's just like a normal crud in there, it seems like. Yeah, cylinder looks actually pretty good.
I'm guessing it's
minimal carbon.
Just turning it over flooded.
Yeah, because I turned it over a bunch, so.
Soaking wet.
Yeah, probably. We're gonna pull the fuel relay and we're gonna like turn the engine over, check for spark and stuff. Fuel pump relay. All right. If you put a spark plug in, you'll see if it sparks, right?
Oh yes, you stick it in here and then you have to have it set to like be grounded.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Okay.
I ain't no wiener. I turned it over. Okay. I saw a spark. Do it again. Okay. That sparked. Okay. That sparked. Oh, no, it sparked. It sparked? Yep, it sparked that time. What the heck? Not really much left that could be wrong. We checked that we were getting spark and everything else, so. You put the fuel pump relay back in, right?
Yes.
It's trying.
What the heck? Do you have like a crank sensor?
Yeah, I thought of that, but I mean, it could be the sensor, the crank sensor, but I would think you'd get a code too. Try it one more time. You know, the crank sensor would make so much sense. But, oh yeah, you can smell the gas already.
Yeah, it's got fuel, it's got sparks, so.
The crank sensor is very inconveniently placed down in here.
Your intake, is it?
Better freaking not be. Where? I'm trying to touch the wire, but I can't.
Why is it there?
Dude, good. Ask Chrysler, dude.
You wanna frick you put that there, huh? Is there a cam?
There's a cam sensor here. I don't remember if I've ever replaced that before, but I would think that I would be getting a code.
Yeah.
I'll examine the crank sensor and do some research because it might not throw a code.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's had that issue where like we'll do it at startup.
Because if you had that issue where it was like kind of faulty at first.
We'll figure something out. But
Yeah.
guess I'll have to pick the camera up tomorrow. So another thing I'm going to try while I'm at it is a quick fuel pressure test. Obviously we hear the pump priming and everything, but there could still be a fuel issue. You never know. I'm pretty sure these cars are supposed to be around 58 PSI. I'm not sure for sure, but we'll hope that we see numbers close to that. Right around 50 PSI, 55. So looks like fuel pressure is good. When in doubt, just pull parts off your other PT Cruiser. So I actually just stole the coil off of this car and swapped it over here just to see if that does anything, because I suppose there's a slight possibility something weird happened within the coil. That is an aftermarket coil and a good one. I'm gonna throw the intake on and we'll test it. If that doesn't do anything, I'll throw the map sensor off that car on this car.
Nope.
All right, time to try the map sensor. Basically, you can plug a turbo map sensor in on an NA, but you can't plug an NA sensor in on a turbo because of the way the plugs are configured, which makes sense because an NA one's not meant for boost more than likely. All right, swapped idle air control valves. I don't know anymore, guys. I don't know. Let's go! Let's go! Aw, come on, man. Okay. There's still something whack going on here, but we have an engine light, so we could check to see what in the world is going on here. But that was after swapping out the cam sensor for the one on the daily. So let's see. Crankshaft position, camshaft position correlation, bank 1, sensor A. I can't imagine it's anything too bad. Like if the timing was actually physically off, I feel like we wouldn't have got this far, or we would have gotten that code previously. It could be that both sensors failed at the same time in different ways. I've heard of this happening, but it could also be wiring related, but I also doubt that. I've looked over the wiring. I didn't notice anything like, you know, anything obvious. You never know, but I think I'm still gonna go ahead and get a new cam and crank sensor today just to play it safe. We'll see. I think that should do the trick, but fingers crossed. All right, boys, got our new sensor from Eklund brand. This better freaking work. What in the world is wrong with you? Got the whole radiator, intercooler, everything assembly out of the car. I already didn't have AC lines hooked up, so that wasn't a pain, but it was quite the job. And I know there's easier ways to get to the crank sensor, but my main concern was I wanted to check all the wiring over as well and visually inspect everything in here. Just went ahead and yanked everything out for now. I was due for some fluid changes anyway. But you can see this loom in this car is in terrible shape just because it's an older car. And it wouldn't surprise me if a wire did get worn through or something happened. I'm gonna check all the wiring over, of course, and make sure. We're also gonna go ahead and pull our crank sensor out and see how it looks. With everything apart, you can see really well. So there's the intake, there's the starter, there's this like lower engine mount plate thing. This is what people normally will remove in order to get to the crank sensor. You can see that frees up some room from the bottom, but it's right here, right below the starter. So people will either remove the starter or this lower mount to easier get to it. There's a little 8mm bolt that holds it in. The sensor itself doesn't look bad, but it is a little loose feeling where the housings meet. The tone ring inside there looks to be in good shape, but it's kind of hard to tell from here exactly what it looks like. So I guess the next step is going to be I'm going to check all of the wires that connect for continuity and visually inspect everything, look at everything, pull everything apart and check. And if everything is good, then I guess we'll replace this thing. Actually, I might replace it anyway since I'm in here, but I don't know. I did a little bit of research and I ended up finding this little wiring diagram sort of thing, and it shows the wiring from the crank position sensor, where it connects into the cam position sensor, where it all joins in and goes toward the PCM. I believe this is for like a 2001 or 2002 car, so I think it might be slightly different because earlier cars had a separate transmission control module from the PCM. I also noticed when pulling this loom back a little bit that there's what looks like some sort of weather protected like butt connector or something, and it's on what looks like the orange wire, which would be one of the wires that we're dealing with right now. I'm just hoping I'm onto something at this point. All right, pulled quite a bit of loom off here so I can see at a lot of the wires now. I want to rewrap these wires anyway because they are in a very vulnerable position. So I went ahead and pulled it off so I could take a closer look at everything. They seem to be in good condition though, and I don't see any tears or anything that could be pulling apart. After studying some wiring diagrams some more, I found that these wires do actually join in with things like the cam position sensor and other sensors up the line to do things like get ground and power. And that is what I believe these like little connectors are for. I went ahead and pulled this connector off of the PCM, which seems to be what they all connected into, and I went ahead and probed all three of the wires on the crank position sensor plug, and I was getting readings, so that's a good thing. I also went ahead and went online, and I actually found another diagram similar to this, but it's out of a newer car. It showed turbo and non-turbo differences, and all of this stuff like the trans control module was not there, so I was able to get a better idea of what I should be looking for. It also showed some different values down here, so I was able to more accurately check. But all the technical stuff aside, basically so far as I can tell, all the values are correct and the wiring is intact and everything is okay. Now I'm starting to suspect the crank sensor again. I might just have to pick up a new one first thing tomorrow and throw that in and cross our fingers, do a test start and hope that that is the issue. A new day, a new sensor. Our old sensor, and in goes our new one. Not even a new crank sensor took care of it. We're getting a timing related code. I don't know anymore. I'm starting to think maybe it is something timing related. Maybe the crank pulley is messed up or something. I doubt it, but I mean, there's not really much else left. This is weird as hell. Dude, I can't with this crap. Why are you like this? I guess it's back to the drawing board once again. So it's pretty much impossible to see the timing marks on the crank with everything together on the car because of everything in the way. But I got to thinking we could probably figure it out via checking top dead center. And I'm pretty sure top dead center on cylinder 1 is when the marks up top should line up. Now the marks do already line up on the exhaust and intake cams, but still we have no way of knowing if something jumped out of time on the crank. So I'm pretty sure we're close to top dead center right now. And the marks are close, but they're still not lined up yet. So it could be timing related even still. Let me just try to turn the crank a little bit more to verify that we are at top dead center. That seems to be it right there. And the marks are not lined up. Our dowel is starting to go back in now. our marks were not lined up. I'm gonna go through another cycle and see what we find. You see I'm just down here with a breaker bar, turning the crank clockwise, which is indeed the direction that the engine goes. All right, right about there is where the dowel stops moving. And our lines are not lined up there. And you see we're past the marks, and I'm pretty sure the dowel hasn't even stopped moving up yet. You guys can see mark number 1 and mark number 2. They're supposed to be within a half of a tooth of each other, and they're just getting further apart now. All right, so in summary, we checked for compression, we checked for fuel, we checked for spark. Everything was fine. We checked wiring, we checked all of our important sensors, we checked our codes. Everything there was fine as well, until we were able to get the car to run for a second, and that's when we threw the P0016 code. I cleared it, and I attempted to start the car while giving it some gas, and I did get it to kind of sputter for a couple seconds, and it threw the code again. I didn't show that on camera, but it is immediately, as soon as the car is able to like run on its own for any amount of time, it immediately throws that code. Now the only thing that would make sense is an internal timing issue. The timing marks on the 2 gears on the camshafts lined up together, but when the car is near top dead center, they're past the mark. So they line up, but not at TDC, which would indicate a crank sprocket issue, or like jump timing at the crank, or the sprocket itself is having an issue. It could be something worse. It could not be the crank at all. I don't know, but that's what it's looking like at this point, especially that last footage you just saw. At TDC, our marks were not lining up at all, which does not make any sense. The only thing that makes it weird is that when I stole the sensor off of the Daily Cruiser and threw it on the car, it actually ran like crap, but it ran for, you know, a solid maybe 15 seconds before dying again. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense if the car was just out of timing that whole time. But something I was thinking is maybe because I had reset everything, so I put that sensor on, unplugged the battery, like everything had been reset. Maybe the car was trying to correct for it with ignition and was able to like keep itself running, but then it cut out and limped itself out after a little bit, and then it just wouldn't restart no matter what. I don't know, it's just a hypothesis, but there could be a lot of reasons for that. I have a little bit more verifying to do, but it looks like in the next video, we are going to be completely tearing down the PTGT, we're taking everything apart and finally trying to figure out the root of the timing issue. If that is the case, I'll probably just go all out, full send, and do a bunch of the work that I wanted to do this winter anyways. Maybe we'll do some really cool stuff if I'm able to make it happen. But either way, it looks like the PTGT is gonna be down for a little while. It kind of sucks because I love driving that car and I will miss it, but that's okay because not only will we finally get to work on it again, but it will finally give me a chance to figure out my whole daily driver situation and get a new daily driver, another cool car for the channel, which has recently gone to the back burner because of the issues with this car and everything else going on over the holidays. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Smack the thumbs up button if you're excited to see whatever happens with this car and the progress on figuring out this issue. Also comment below whatever you guys want to say or what you guys think of this whole ordeal. During my research, I actually found a few other people that had a extremely similar issue to what I've been having with this car. So I hope that whatever I end up doing and whatever we end up finding will maybe be able to help a few of you guys out that are stuck in a similar jam. But again, guys, Merry Christmas to all you all and Happy New Year. So very thankful for all of the support that you guys have given me over 2021, and 2022 I hope will be 10 times more successful and way more crazy for the channel. I've got a lot planned and I'm here for the long haul. God bless you all, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to turn your notifications on, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned. Peace out.